Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Tuesday. It's April 1st, April Fool's Day. This day is similar to yesterday. It was kind of if you followed the rules, it was pretty straightforward, but it was really difficult to find entries in here. There's just not a lot of entries today. And, if you were having trouble finding entries, you weren't alone. I had trouble too. And I pretty much traded till just now. And, um, it was hard to find entries today. But let me show you what I did see. And, it won't take long. There's not, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. There's 8 entries here. And most of them are, a couple of them, maybe half of those, 3 of those are, a little bit aggressive. So, there's just not a lot of trades today. We've had really good trading lately, and really wasn't a bad trading day. It was just really difficult to find the entries. Um, so that's the way I would leave it. And let's just look at what we've got here, and we'll talk about it, and we'll go from there. But um, coming in around 7 o'clock, we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars from, and they're just, it's a little congestion area from about 6 for 2 hours. That's all we had right there, nothing much. But we are in an uptrend. It's an easy to spot channel. That was the good thing about this. That channel was not hard to find. It's straightforward. It's right off the first couple of swings, and everything's bouncing right off that trend line. The first trade I saw was this second entry here, and I even almost made this one green, but you can't argue with this. You got a new high, you pull back, you bounce right off that line. You get a first entry, you pull back, you make a higher low, again right off that line, and so you can't hardly argue with that one. Just put your stop there, and it's right off the trend line. Um, 2 tries to go lower that fail. Probably a lot of top pickers in here, so they get people trapped. It doesn't take off really quickly, and then it pulls back and it tests the line again here, pulls back and tests it again here, and then even here. So you might have considered maybe taking one of these trades because this is straight up, and everything's inside that trend line. Even if you get a break, you got to figure that it's going to bounce off the EMA that first time, and so you might just have to be aggressive and take one of these entries, or you just got to sit and be patient. And if you did, there weren't many trades, and so there's not much else you can say about that. The only thing that might have led you to think that, hey, we may get a break here is look how we were coming right back and forth off each side of that channel. That channel is very clear, and then all of a sudden we can't get back to the upper side, then we get the break. Um, I think this was aggressive. It's a first entry, but the fact that we made this little double bottom here and we tried to go lower below it 1, 2, 3 times and couldn't, and then it's right off the EMA. That's the first break. We're probably going to get a push to a new high, and that's exactly what happened. We went on higher, and then you get another opportunity here. I made this one blue because this is really the second entry off of this. And generally you'll get 2 legs up. So I'm thinking, I went back and forth whether or not to make this one blue. But it is, notice you got 1 leg up, and then you measure leg gets you to here. So I'm thinking, hey, we're probably going to get another leg. Let me move this. We did try to go lower. We had the 1 pull back, then we tried to pull back again. So it's basically a second entry long. It's close to the highs, but you're just not going to get any other opportunity today. So I kind of like that one. I like the fact that this one closed on its very high. It broke, and a lot of people are trying to pick the tops early, and it broke and it goes higher. It takes a little bit to work on out there, but it does work out. Um, And then you get another little trap here. So now you got this new low, first entry, pull back, second entry. I made this one green because now you've got 2 moves up to a new high, and you're coming out of this congestion. So really the only way to do this one was to um, wait for it to break higher and see if you could get in with a limit order. And if you didn't get in with a limit order, I think it's too risky to try to take. So that's why I made it green. It is a trap, but you just can't go long that far away and you hadn't been back to the EMA in a while, and you already had your break and a couple of legs up to a new high. So this one was kind of risky. I hesitated to even mark it, but if you're looking for trades, you got to find reasons, and there is a trap there. So um, if you didn't enter on a limit order, I don't know if you would have gotten, because it broke lower and went higher, you would have entered on a stop at 76 and a quarter, and I think it only went to 77 and a quarter. It couldn't get that extra tick. They trapped a lot of people there. So you did have to enter either that or you had to exit with what it would give you when you tried to go higher 3 times and couldn't. At the very least, move your stop below each bar. I usually don't like to do that, but if you're being this, if you're being this aggressive trying to get in at very highs of the day, then you've got to do stuff like that. So. But I always get this question. People don't understand when the reversal has occurred. And, you really just about have to wait on a trend in the other direction. And you didn't get a confirmed trend in the other direction till right here, and then it's not a very good setup. I went back and forth whether or not to make this one green or red. It is coming right off that trend line. Originally, I had this trend line like right here. And so I felt like we had a confirmed trend when I went short here, and then we tried it again. And maybe the trend line is there, but I adjusted this some more. Maybe that is the center point right there. So, I mean, that's where I originally had it. I played around with it, seeing if I could see something different. But we do get the close in the new low, and we have reversed now. So I'm kind of liking it back like this, to be honest with you. You could have drawn it either way and you really get the same conclusion. You've really got a confirmed trend line down. Okay, I'm sorry, I had a slight interruption there and I can't remember where we started off, but what we were trying to talk about is when to know that you got a reversal. So you got to get a confirmed trend in the other direction, and you don't really have that until right in here when this turns down once and then a couple more times, and then it breaks higher and turns down again. And notice this, somebody else got tricked into going long here, but there's not a long setup there. No way you can go long right there, especially if your chart looks like mine. Now, if you had a better setup, maybe, but there's no reason to go long there. And notice that you've got one leg down here, and then you got 2 legs up. So when this turned down, you're thinking at least another measured leg down, but maybe a reversal because you've got the trend channel break and a new high already here. So, you might have been thinking a measured move from here to here, like so, but, we're really close right there. And the fact that we made all those bars and couldn't go higher, that's not, and then when it turns back down right there again, that's not a good sign. So and this broke higher first, so I like to short right there, fairly easy trade. And then we tried to go higher again. This is like a little breakout pullback short, but it's right off that trend line again. You can see that. And it's a little more aggressive because you're down here near all those lows, but it is a breakout pullback short, and this is a downtrend. So if you saw that, and at that point I was thinking, the trend channel's down here, so there's plenty of room. But now that I look at it again, I think there's a median line in there. So but there's still a little room, even that median line, but you probably wouldn't have had that in there yet. So you were looking for prices to come, I would have been looking for them to come down to here actually at that point. So it would have looked more like that. You got plenty of room there. So I like that trade to the short side. Of course, this one takes off. That was probably the best trade of the day, as far as how quick it moved and how easy it moved down. And there's also a failed second entry long here, but I think it's really risky going short right here. But if you saw it, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and mark that one in green. because if you saw it, it would have worked. You would have had to ride this out and watch it chop down in this second half, in this lower half. I think it was probably better to wait and take the trade right here. It's still an aggressive entry because of all the overlap. I think you were better to wait and enter there. And of course, the best trade is to wait till you get back over here and you get this bearish reversal. You could have entered here or waited and entered below the green one because it's like a second attempt to go higher that fails and turns down. If you entered on this one, I'd probably put a stop there. You could use a limit order here, but you're going to, be careful with those limit orders. People hear me say that, and then they try to enter every trade, and they miss all the best trades. So you only want to use a limit order when it's suspect, and this is a first entry. And really, you could have entered below that doji, but I think you need to wait on this bar. When you see that bar, that's pretty bearish. Uh, and again, it's probably right off the trend line, and generally, um, we do end up getting a close outside it, I believe, right there. Um, but you still got to move to a new low, and so you could have entered either place, either way I just discussed. Best to wait on this bar, enter with a stop. If not, maybe a limit order, a tick or two in. You could have gotten filled maybe 2 ticks into that bar. But once it tried to go higher there, and then you could have even used a stop right there because there's plenty of room down to a new low and even down to this low. Um, and then I didn't really like going short anymore after that. I didn't like going long right here because we kind of have this resistance. It's hard to see, but let me put the line on there. And then you can see right there. And that was another reason for this trade right here too. Look at all those touches across there and matching highs. And so I didn't like going long that close to that, especially when I wasn't sure 100% that we had a break, because we had this move up here. So maybe this line is right there, and maybe the median line is more like this. I mean, that's a possibility too. And generally, you're going to get that off of those first couple of swings, and that led to something else. It could have been we were looking at something more like that right there, coming across there, but that just didn't really fit. And so you can make it work, but it just doesn't fit neatly. So that was something else you might have been looking at. But I just wasn't 100% sure we had a break yet, so I didn't. Without a good setup here, I don't think you can go short. There's a second entry right here. You definitely don't want to take that one because look at the matching, all the overlapping bars, and so you might have thought about going long when it broke lower and failed and turned up, because that is a failed second entry short, but it's just not a very good one because there's not 100% certainty that we've had a break and a new low and that it's time to reverse yet. So I didn't like that one. And I didn't circle it at all, and I didn't think you could go short there either because I did think we had a break and a new low already. So and now we're hitting it higher. So anyway, that's why I didn't mark that one. But notice this one. This is the kind I like. You got a two-legged pullback to the EMA. Notice the new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. It fails. Now you got enough room to get out. And I think that's really what happened. People were looking to get long, but they just didn't like this setup right here. But when they saw this one, then look at that. They caught a bunch of people off guard because look at that fast, quick, easy move up. And now we're heading higher. And now we're about to get on a little bit bigger scale. We may get another little failure. This is like a breakout pullback long maybe here. I don't know. You probably need to get your trend line working in the other direction here. Could be like this right here. See how that fits up here. We got an overshoot if that's it. Let's play with this just a little more and see if we get something a little different. What if we go right across here like so? I mean, that could be it as well. So we just don't have enough price action yet. At this point, I'd be going with what I have right there. And could be this is a median line, and we've got another line somewhere else up here. Something like that. Maybe that's a possibility. We just don't have a whole lot of price action yet. But that's another thing. If you had this trend line on here, notice that you pulled back. You got your first two swings right here, and then you went higher and you pulled back and tested again and kind of confirmed it. So that's another reason to like that long right there. So that's what I've seen today. Again, not a lot of entries, not a lot of sure things, really. So some days you're just going to get days like that. I mean, I've seen worse days than this, to be honest, but lately we've had such good trading um, that, it's kind of odd that we've had such a slow day, really. We had a lot of quick early movement, and then, just not a whole lot since then. I think people are just, uh, people are getting whipsawed and confused, and, there's just not a lot of volume right now. For whatever reason, people aren't buying. And it's not even so much that the volume's so low, there's just not a lot of movement. There's just a lot of indecision. We're getting back up here near 1900 again, and I just think we're going to continue to find a lot of resistance up here until we work through it. And then who knows, we may get another rally going again. But until we get through that 1900 level, the closer we get to it, probably the more resistance we're going to find. It's just, don't trade off that by any means, because we may blow, something may change and we may blow right through that. But that's generally would be my thinking. And it's possible, here's another possibility to be thinking about, is this being leg one up and we got a correction here, and maybe that's our target for the end of the day. We'll have to see if we get there. It's pretty aggressive based on the movement I'm seeing so far, but another trap to the downside or something, this thing could take on off here. So we'll see what happens. But that's what I saw today so far. Like I said, it's just not a lot of entries today, not a lot of movement, and I traded much later than I normally do. And so, again, no, I didn't take any um, demonstration trades or anything today. So, but I'm going to wrap it up and get out of here. The weather's getting really nice around here, and it's getting golf weather. So I may start taking off out of here a little earlier and playing some golf as the weather gets better. But I'm going to wrap this one up. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.